Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing this morning? All right, here we go.
Good morning to everybody. My name is Debbie Sorensen. I've been in touch with quite a few of you through email. And today I'm so glad you're here. A lot of you have walked in. And because of that, you will not have received my email information. So there is extra information on your table and on the table back here. Today, what we're going to do is I'm going to introduce are you the COO anymore? Of the POA. Anyway, Tom Judson. We have John Flynn, who is the third illustrious mayor of Bella Vista. And Selena Lee from the ACC. We're going to discuss all of the amenities here in Bella Vista. And after the three have spoken, we will have a time for question and answering, which many people do have questions. And then I'm going to give a brief history of Bella Vista. And we have a raffle at the very end of the program. And the raffle will be for some really informative books about Bella Vista. Did everyone get a pink raffle ticket? Everybody got one? Okay, speak now, or forever hold your peace. Anyway, thank you so much for being here, and I'm going to turn this over to Tom.
We've been doing these meetings for many, many years, and it is 100% volunteer run, which is outstanding. Deb and her crew, raise your hand if you're a volunteer. Come on in, there we go. Okay, so before I get started, I wanted to introduce you to Mary and Shelley. Please raise your hand. They are members of our Member Resources Department. So where you signed up for water, got your activity cards, stuff like that. If you have any questions for them, they're going to be here after the meeting, so you can corner them. They only like hard questions, no easy questions. They only like really hard, challenging questions. Okay, so grab this sheet. This is the explanation sheet of the difference between the POA, the city, and the ACC. So I'm going to give you kind of the brief intro, and then we're each going to speak for our respective departments. For most of you, you've lived in the community where the city was in charge of the police and the fire and the roads, but they were also ran a park. They were in charge of the water department, all those different things. That's what a lot of communities are like. We're very different. We call it the three-legged stool, and we all work very well together. So the first leg of the stool is the city. And we have Mayor Flynn here, who's in charge of the city, and he's an elected official, and he's in charge of police, fire, the streets, and a lot of other stuff. But those are the main things. Also, we're going to go on the far right side, we have the ACC. And Selena is in charge of making sure that all of our homes are beautiful and that someone next to you doesn't park an RV for a year or paint their home bubblegum pink and all of a sudden it looks really obnoxious. So she's going to describe what she does. I really give a very basic explanation. And then the POA, and I'm in charge of the POA, and we're the fun department. Okay? So since we're talking about the fun department, I want you to grab this, place it to play. And we're going to talk about the different amenities that the POA has. Now one of the reasons we started doing this meeting is because it was very frustrating because I run into property owners who have lived here 10 and 15 years and they didn't know about all the amenities that we have. Maybe they lived on the east side and they're like, well, we didn't know we had a gun range. It's like, yeah, so let's start from your brand new property owners. Let's talk about all the wonderful things you can do because this is an amenities-rich and amenities-based community, and we want to make sure you go out and enjoy yourself because we are the fun department. All right, so we're going to start on the west side, on the far left of your map, and you'll see the gun range out there. Okay, so right now the gun range is closed for renovations. We're working towards that. If you watched the last work session of the board, you actually received an update. We have another board meeting coming this Thursday, and I'll give another update regarding the gun range. So we're making some major renovations to the pistol and rifle side. The skeet and trap range are still open. They're very active. So I encourage you to go out and use that facility. It's a really, really nice facility, and make sure you say hi to Carol out there. He's an outstanding guy. He's been with us since the dawn of time, I think. All right, we're going to move over to Highlands. So Highlands is one of our 18-hole golf courses. We also have a pub and pizzeria over there. So it's a great place to go congregate. It's got an outstanding deck that you can sit outside when it's nice and warm and have your lunch or have a cocktail and look out on the lake and everything. It's a great place. If you haven't been out there, it's a great place to get pizza and also sit outside and enjoy your time.
Trivia, music bingo.
And that's where we do. I'm sorry, I didn't introduce Sydney. She is the queen of fun because she's in charge of when we do trivia or music bingo or all these different events. She's the one that makes sure that those events go off without a hitch. So if you have any ideas, maybe from your community and you used to do some special thing, share the idea with her and maybe it'll work and she'll incorporate it. We love stealing ideas. Okay, Branchwood. So Branchwood is a hub of activity. We have our second largest fitness facility there. We have an indoor pool. It's our only indoor pool. We have a 1.5 mile walking trail, and on that walking trail is a disc golf course. And that disc golf course was rated in the top 10 for the state. So if you like doing that, it's a great place. If you like hiking, go down on that trail, but it's a heck of a hill up. If you walk up there, once you get to the bottom, you're like, oh my God, it's a hill coming up. Also, there are 6 pickleball courts over there. Who's into pickleball? It's really popular. A couple years ago, we only had 2 pickleball courts. We're now up to 10. Plus, we have 2 that we can use at the BBRC. All right. Let's go over to Lake Point. So the POA manages all of our restaurants. Lake Point is really our crown jewel. It's got the best view of the lake. It's a great place to go. At that same location, we have the wine bar. And in the building next to that, we have the marina. At the marina, you can rent a boat slip. You can rent a boat, and it's very affordable. You can rent a kayak. And Loch Lomond is our largest lake. At the base of Loch Lomond Dam is one of our larger parks. And if you go around that, there's a 3,000-foot trail that you can walk around, and you'll notice that there are 4 fish hatchery lakes or ponds there. That's where we're growing our own fish, because fishing is very important to our community. The 4th one isn't done yet. It's almost done. It's a real big one. So if you walk around there, my wife Allison and I walked the dogs just earlier this week, and then we went up on the dam. And it's one of the best views in the community because you can see the water on one side and you can see the green valley, and you can see Scottsdale on the other. So if you want to go on a walk, it's a great place to go. All right, we're going to go north and you'll see Scottsdale, another 18-hole golf course. We have a pub in there, another nice patio area that overlooks real high up, looks down. Very nice place, great place to play golf, and great place to have a nice beer while watching the golf course. Going just a touch south and east, you'll see the beach. So we may be hundreds and hundreds of miles away from the ocean, but we have a beach here. And it's one of our most used amenities in our community. So it's a great sand beach. They just brought in, how many? Like 15 tons of sand we just got delivered or something like that. We replenish it every year. At that location, we have a little hut there, and we sell every form of sugar for the kids. And we just want to line them up and pay their teeth as much as possible. So we sell ice cream and candy bars, all that fun stuff. But they really have a good time. There's also a playground there where you can go on a zip line and so forth. There's a there's a pavilion that you can rent, a beach volleyball court, so just a great place. And that's, you can also rent kayaks. We have this, next to the beach, we have this, we have a swim line installed every year. So make sure that no boats come in to where the kids are swimming, and they put out this little lily pad. So the kids swim out, jump on the lily pad, jump off, go back and forth. They have a great time. So bring your kids or grandkids to that location. They'll really enjoy it. All right, we're gonna move to the right just a little bit east, and you'll see Tanya Creek. So Tanya Creek driving range is there. That is currently under renovation, major renovation. We're pouring the new foundation early this coming week, and that'll open soon, sometime. Whenever. Sometimes issues happen, and that didn't happen. But it'll be a hub of activity. Last year at this location, we did 65,000 buckets of balls. So it is a lot of people use the facility. So also at that same location, you have Tanya Creek Nature Trail. If you're gonna go on one hike, you have family coming into town, you gotta go on one hike, you go to Tanya Creek. See the waterfall, it's beautiful. You can make the hike as long or as short as you want. But it's a great place. We also have a pavilion there, a nice grass area where people play Frisbee, so it's a great location. All right, let's go north to where we are right here. We're at the Country Club. So this building, the architect for this building was Ife Jones, who was a protege of Frank Lloyd Wright. So if you look at the architecture of this building, it's really quite beautiful. We've had architects come into this building, and they're all like looking at their over and that kind of thing. But it's really a beautiful building. It's our second, our third. We talked about the pizza place, we talked about Lake Point, and this is another restaurant we have. Great view, you can see that when it greens up, it's beautiful. We have a large pro shop in here. This is an award-winning pro shop. It's beautiful. Also, if you come to any of the board meetings or any of the committee meetings, they're actually up the stairs, and down at the end of that hallway is our boardroom. All those meetings are open to our membership. We encourage you to come. We have a nice sitting area where you can listen in. You can come and make comments to the board and so forth, or the committees. Or you can do what most people do, is you watch them live stream in the comfort of your own home. We're fine with either. We just want everybody to be involved. And in addition to the restaurant, the pro shop, we have a beautiful 18-hole golf course. Last year, all of the golf courses combined did 203,000 rounds of golf. Back in 2019, we did 135,000 rounds of golf. So we've gained about 70,000 rounds of golf in just a few years. So if you're into golf, this is the place to be, with 5 18-hole golf courses and 2 9-hole golf courses. We're gonna go straight south, where it says BBRC, another hub of activity. So we have BBRC, which is our largest community center, fitness center, so forth. This 21,000 square foot building. It was just recently renovated, so it just opened 3 or 4 months ago. If you haven't been there, they offer a lot of classes. My wife Allison takes a spin class every Monday morning, so it's good stuff. Also across from the street from that is our tennis center. We have 8 tennis courts, so in a tennis pro shop. We have a pool, our largest pool complex. It's only open during the season. And then we have Kingsdale Clubhouse. Now that clubhouse, we have an 18-hole golf course and then a 9-hole golf course. And we're renovating that building right now. We just had our first tour on Tuesday, and that'll be the POA's 4th restaurant. It's going to be called BVCTV. 65 stands for the year that the POA was founded, and that's going to be a barbecue place, and we hope to open that up during the summertime. All right, we're we're gonna go all the way to the east side or the far right of your map, and you're gonna see that we have Meetingfield over there. Meetingfield, we have an 18-hole golf course and a 9-hole golf course over in that location. Also, our second largest pool is there. There's a kids skills park, so if the kids want to learn how to mountain bike in a safe environment, we have a kids skills park. So a lot of stuff going on in that area. Also, at Meetingfield, you can get on the Razorback Greenway at that location. Now, the Razorback Greenway, if you're not aware of it, is a 10-foot wide concrete path that is dedicated to, non-motorized, you can't get on a motorcycle or anything like that. You can go from Meetingfield 40 miles south all the way to Fayetteville. So it is a great resource, and it starts right in our backyard. That portion of the trail is just heavily used, and if you know where Casey's is on the main highway, Casey's and the bike shop and Casano's is there. That park right in that area, the treehouse park right in that area, the Walton Family Foundation is going to extend the greenway there also. So you're able to jump on at that location and go all the way south. They already anticipate it's going to be so heavily used, instead of 10-foot wide, they're going to make that area 12-foot wide. All those trails cost the POA nothing. We have to maintain them, but the initial investment costs the POA nothing. It's all a gift of the Walton Family Foundation. Okay, so let's go to Blowing Springs, bottom right corner, if you want to call it that. So Blowing Springs, that's our RV park. We have a 65 slip RV park. We have primitive camping, which is camping on the ground, which is great for you if you're into that. Not for me. We also have tiny cabins, so you can rent a cabin. It's a great way to get with nature. And then we have the Gear Garden, my favorite. It is our version of an outdoor beer garden. It is right next to the Razorback Greenway, and the seasonal grand opening for that is going to be towards the...
April 19th.
There we go. And from the sky. Anybody remember Muppets and the Pigs in Space, and they're all wondering where the voices come from? There you go. That's how my mind works. So that's going to be opening up. We're going to have a 3-day celebration to open for the season. Now, some people will come to me and they'll say, well, last weekend was wonderful. Why didn't you open up? We can't, because we can't open for one weekend and then be closed for 3 weekends and then back open. First of all, it's impossible to find the employees that could work on that schedule. Second of all, the beer will go bad. That's really wrong. And state law, we can't move the beer around. So we can't take it from one location and move it to another location so it doesn't go back. So once it's there, it must stay there. So we have to wait until April. Hopefully we'll get a great weekend when we open up. I want to talk about the activity card. If you have not purchased an activity card, we strongly encourage you to do so. The activity card costs you $30 a year per person. Okay? With that activity card, you are going to get free access to the gym facilities. Free, a good price. Pools, beach. You get free rounds of golf at Brittany 9-hole golf course on the east side. For the golfers, free range balls, as many as you want. Free access to the gun range, all that stuff. When you go to the ski trap, you do have to pay for targets. That's a hard cost. And you get 10% off all your food purchases at the restaurants. No discounts on the booze because you're going to buy it anyways. So all of that for $30. If you're a family, if you buy 2 activity cards, you can get up to 5 free for the kids, as long as they're under 18. Sorry about that. Also want to recognize BVCTV is here. Filming TV, that's our local TV station. So I'm gonna turn it over to the mayor so I can go off back and start coughing. And here you go.
Thank you. I really appreciate being asked to be here, and glad so many of you showed up. I'll tell you a little bit about what happens with the city. We're over fire, police, streets, community development, which is getting permits, that sort of thing, the library, and what I call intergovernmental relations. We have quite a bit of activity in the region, regional groups that work together, and the county and working with the state, that kind of thing. So I'll tell you a little bit about what's been going on with some of our buildings. We have a new public safety building on the west side, and it's on Forest Hills Boulevard. It has the police and the dispatch and the court. And it's a really nice building. I predict in the next 30 years, the city will not build a building that big and that nice. So, it's, like I say, it's brand new and it's been a great improvement. Our police were really at an underpowered location, and the court there has city council meetings and city council work sessions. It has planning commission, and they have court there twice a month. So if you get in trouble, as you're sitting there, you think, well, at least I'm in a nice, brand new, pretty courtroom building. But that's just for misdemeanors. If you get in big trouble, you have to go to Benton County, so, felonies. So, anyway, the other thing that just was completed is the fire training tower. And that is on Carlisle Drive. It's if you take 71 north, and it's on the left-hand side right before you leave the city. And that's brand new, and that way when our firemen are being trained, they don't have to leave the city, so they're still nearby. Before we had to go sometimes far away for training and put people out of pocket. So it's a lot more efficient this way. It also gives us a better ISO rating, which can affect your insurance costs and your home insurance. Then it's City Hall and Fire Station number 1. We have a rehab underway with that. And I have a little picture here you can look at later if you like. It shows where the City Hall is. Basically, this is where the police were, and they left. And so the fire living quarters are being built right now. It's 2 stories. They're going to sleep on the first floor and live during the day on the second floor. So that's what they're doing there. Then we're going to build a new City Hall and fire station right in front of that on the left-hand side. And we're changing it from 3 bays to 5 bays. And the 2 new bays are taller and longer because new fire trucks are bigger. This is our original fire station, so it's quite old. Then where City Hall is close to Lancashire. Community Development's going to move in there. So all of that happens a little at a time. It'll take a year and a half or 2 years, something in that range. So the beauty of that is we have a 5-year-old street building which is new. It's over on Forest Hills, and the police building was built to be good for 30 years. So then I think this will be good for 20 or 30. So after all that's done, it'll really help our capital expenditures. We won't have any more buildings we need to do. Once in a while, we'll maybe add a fire station. So that's a short summary of what's happening with the buildings. And I did want to just briefly mention, we had an election on March 5 for police pension, and it passed. So I really appreciate that. I want to thank the voters for passing that. We've had really good luck in the city with people being supportive of the police and the fire, all the first responders. And I think that has a lot to do, we're one of the safest cities in Arkansas and one of the safest cities really in the US for our size. And I think the attitude of the people and their support for first responders has a lot to do with that. So I really appreciate that, and I wanted to be sure to mention that. Let's talk about bridges for a minute. We have a bridge over on Mercy Way, and it was just completed recently, and it's really nice compared to the older bridge. It has a big bike lane, which is part of the Razorback Greenway. We need to get the Greenway across the Sugar Creek, and did that successfully. But what's really cool about that bridge is it cost $7 million, and the city paid less than $100,000. And the reason for that is we had a federal grant which pays 80% of it. And then the Walton Foundation very generously agreed to pay the other 20% because of the trail being involved and the bike trail going across the bridge. So, really pleased about that. You know, one thing I noticed, just to digress for a minute, I've been mayor a little bit over a year, and things in the city take a long time. So the prior mayor kind of got some things going, and then they were completed when I was mayor, like the public safety building, and the Mercy Way Bridge. So I feel like the new mayor deserves credit for everything they just completed during his term. Just seems logical. Anyway, on the, continuing on the bridges, we had a bridge on Tanyard Creek that RDOT, the Arkansas Department of Transportation, recently completed. In the first year I was mayor, I got more comments on why is this bridge taking so long than any other topic. But the good news is that the city didn't have to pay anything for it. So I'm trying to look at the bright side. And they did complete the Tanyard Creek Bridge. And now they're working on the Little Sugar Creek Bridge, which is right outside my office. And I can attest it's quite noisy at times. But that's scheduled to be completed this year. So I think we're going to be in a really good, and that's also being done by RDOT. So I think we're going to be in a really good shape from a bridge point of view after all that's completed. I want to mention a few upcoming things that are happening. We're working on a development code and zoning reform, and that's going to be done in early 2025. We have about a year to go on that. We have some outside consultants out of Tulsa, and that seems like kind of a policy wonky kind of thing, but it's really important for the city and you know, to get all that straightened around. So I'm pretty happy about that. It's been overdue for a while. On trails, you know, the Razorback Greenway, as I mentioned, goes across the bridge. And the short-term plan is to extend it down the street, and it'll cross under 71 by Reardon Road. So right behind Fat Tire over there is a park called Bluebird Trail. And that's where the Razorback Greenway will end for a while. The eventual plan is to have it go all the way to the Missouri line. Second thing is we had a spur off the Razorback Greenway, which is quite popular, that goes out to Meetingfield, and it's being extended. It's going to go down, continue on down Commonwealth, and then hang a right on Trafalgar and go down there for a mile or so. So all of that is Walton Family Foundation also. And, you know, Tom mentioned how generous they've been with the trails and whatnot. And just in Bella Vista, the amount Walton Foundation is, it's kind of a moving target, keeps going up. But the amount they've paid for trails just in Bella Vista is $19 million. So that's had a big effect on the POA and the city. Obviously, their generosity has been very crucial for us. The other thing that's happened, you know, we have over 100 miles of soft surface trails, and there's the back 40 on the east side and the Little Sugar trails on the west side. And we have 7 places on the trails where they're kind of making extensions or enhancements. A lot of it's more user-friendly stuff, where they're making shorter loops for people. And So they're continuing to improve those trails as well. So I want to mention a few upcoming events in the near term. On Saturday, March 30, there's something called 6 in 60, and it's at 10 a.m. It's in the Highlands parking lot on 71. And what it is it's picking up litter. They do that every year. They've done it for several years. And the 6 in 60 refers to 6 miles along 71 in 60 minutes. So they get a lot of people out there. It's over 100 people, and they're able to clean up the whole highway. It's just kind of neat, a lot of the volunteer things they have going on in Bella Vista. That's one example. A second thing is there's a tree giveaway on April 12th. You have to sign up ahead of time online, and you get a free tree, and that's indirectly from the Walton Foundation as well. And so you want to look at Bella Vista, you want to go on the website anyway, it's bellavistaar.gov.gov. That's the city website. And there's a lot of information about different things on there. Citywide garage sale is April 26 and 27. That's just the deal where they have a garage sale and you can sign up and then your house will be pinpointed on the list. So since you just moved and you figured out, gee, we shouldn't have moved this stuff, why we bring this? It'd be good timing. Anyway, and then Friday, May 3 is an open house for the new fire training tower that I mentioned before, and a lot of people like to go to those fire open houses. It's really pretty impressive, all the things that you can do with that training tower. So sometimes that's interesting. So just briefly, I'll tell you what some of my thoughts are, some of my future goals. We'd like to increase the number of houses that are on sewer. Right now we have 3,700 on sewer, about 11,000 on septic. And that's going to be a gradual thing, but that's something I'd like to see increase on that. Second thing is paved roads, because Bella Vista's gotten so popular and builders are building houses in more obscure locations. We actually have 14 miles of roads that aren't paved, that have new houses on them. That's just that have new houses on them. And the other year it was 14 miles, and I had the street department do 2 miles of it. I thought we'd, start chipping away at it. And the other day, the street department told me it's 14 miles again, because we paved 2 miles, but there's 2 more miles of roads that had nothing on it. So I wasn't surprised at that. I was warned that might be a problem. But we want to hack away at that. The other is increased connectivity, meaning walking and biking. So, we have a lot of cool places to go for a walk, and we have a lot of cool trails to ride a bike on. We would want to improve a little bit on being able to use it to get from point A to point B, to actually walk places. We have 250 miles or 550 miles of roads and 5 miles of sidewalk. So we're rated pretty low on the walking. So, but we're certainly starting to gradually improve that. And for instance, there's a sidewalk on all the new bridges I mentioned. So now you have walkability a few places where you didn't before. So that's another thing we'd like to hack away on. So I would like to mention a couple of different things. Bella Vista Television does live stream the city council meetings and the planning commission meetings. You could watch them live stream if you'd like. And also something a lot of times people don't mention, we have 30 different churches in Bella Vista. So you're not in heaven yet, but you're almost there. Anyway, so that's pretty much all I have for you today, and I appreciate your attention. And I'd like to turn it over to Selena Lee, who heads up the ACC.
Good morning, it's nice to see everybody. Like Dave said, my name is Selena, and I'm the administrator for the ACC office. which stands for Architectural Control Committee, but we keep it ACC simple. We, in our office, we regulate or enforce the protected covenants of Bella Vista, and those are attached to your deeds. That's where our enforcement comes from. You're gonna hear so many different things about the ACC office, in good, bad, in between. But I encourage you to come see us. I have a wonderful staff. They're very fun and can answer a lot of questions for you and direct you in the correct place. We also have plats of your property, of your home. They'll show you where your home is, where your septic is, and those are free. You just come in, tell us your address, and we'll get it for you. Anything you do exterior to your home, as far as if you repaint, if you re-roof, if you re-side, you put in a shed or a fence or anything like that, we do require a permit. But what we look at is location and what it's going to look like. Whereas the city, their building department that requires a permit as well, they look at it as building codes. It's going to be built properly, and the location as well as far as their ordinances. So, yeah, I don't really have a lot to say. Mine's usually short and sweet. Oh yes, I forget all the time. So we do have what we call Did You Knows, and this is just kind of little snippet paragraphs of the most questions that we get, and this will help you know like what we're looking for, what we enforce, the answers to those questions, and then you can also go to our website where we have everything on our website. But this is either on your table or on the back table over here, and it's just very good little pamphlet of information and phone numbers, stuff like that. So, oh yes, and there's some of you have candy on the table that's from the ACC that also gives you a little snippet of different things that we different of our rules and regulations as well. So, other than that, I'm going to turn it back over to Tom.
No, I'm not nothing anymore. This is all that is that element time of year. So, questions for you, whether it's for the POA, the ACC, or the city? Yes, ma'am. One at a time, I have a pen.
Okay, I get the emails from the POA, and it has stuff for Bella Vista and then for the city. What I would like to see is from the city, I guess, or I don't know who does it, but all the places that are under construction. Because we have friends in town and wanted to go see the veterans memorial wall,
Yeah.
and it was closed. I had no clue. So why didn't you put something like that into the newsletter? And then all the construction that's going on, I didn't know about the firehouse or all this other stuff. So why can't you have a place for all of that?
Unfortunately, the newsletter is already extremely long, and so it gets really, in my opinion, it would be an information overload. Also,
Because you have all
hold on, let me finish. Also, the Wall of Honor is not part of the POA, it's not part of the city, they're their own entity. So, so here, quick pop quiz, you ready for this one? What city owns Lake Bella Vista? So all construction.
where it is. I mean,
Well, we'll consider it, but, okay. More questions?
Are they hiring at the beer garden?
Well, I'm personally the official taste tester. Yes, we are always hiring, for the beer garden, for the restaurants and so forth. But, if you're looking for a position, so I described to you how to get to the boardroom. As you're going to the boardroom is also the HR, so if human resources, so if you're interested. Another question? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I don't know if it's true, but I heard some rumors of some financial budget concerns with the POA in addition to hiring freeze going on right now, so.
I don't believe anything on Facebook. They're very creative. No, we're in great financial shape. You can go on our website and you can find 15 years of audited financials, keyword audited by professional financials. We're in great shape. That answer your question?
Is there a hiring freeze right now, or?
Nope. Nope, this is spring. We'll even hire him. I don't even know you, I'm giving you a hard time. No, this is not, we're gonna be adding a lot of seasonal staff. No, we're not on a hiring freeze. Please don't go on Facebook, or if you do, take the information for a grain of salt. I saw there the other day, so we just did a presentation about the upgrades to the gun range, and it's gonna cost us about $300,000. And Facebook was all in a tissel over it was gonna cost $3 million and they're gonna be financially bankrupt. I'm like, it's no. So take it as a grain of salt, it's worthless information in my opinion. Yes, sir.
When will the gun range open?
That's a great question. You know what, at this point, I'm not gonna comment. We're getting closer, but there's so many moving parts, and permitting can be a challenge at times, so when I can give the community that information, I will. But right now, we're still in the planning phase to make sure we're all the same, we're heading in the right direction. Watch the last work session meeting for the board. It's available on our website. So if you want, I'd encourage everybody to go on the POA's website, which is bellavistapoa.com. We have the 15 years of audited financials. We have about 7 years worth of videos of our board meetings, our committee meetings, and so forth. So watch the most recent one, you'll get all the facts. Yes, sir.
What about fiber? Does Bella Vista have any control over cable companies out here? From what I understand, I live on a fairly new street. I've only been here 7 months, so my house is brand new. And I've talked to several AT&T and Cox and everything, and they're telling me we're 99% coverage out here, and I'm the 1%. They don't even recognize my house, and I said, I don't understand why. I've talked to the regional manager for Cox that came out, and he doesn't even know the answer to it as far as when I'm gonna get fiber to my house. Is there a way we can find that out through Bella Vista on my street?
That is actually a very timely question, and this is the reason why there's some grant money floating around. Actually, I knew broadband was a big issue, and so I got on all these committees having to do with broadband. It's a pretty complicated topic, but the bottom line is the federal government has a lot of grant money, and they're tending to throw it at rural areas, and they don't consider us rural. Now, in your case, you have a new house, but there's plenty of people in Bella Vista with existing homes that have spotty service. And the two people we have, bottom line is the two people we have is Cox and AT&T. And even if you have like 20 houses in a cluster, it's not economically attractive to them to give service. But the reason I said your question is very timely is right now there's a map online, and for the next 30 days, citizens can go and look at the map and see what it says our coverage is. It'll say whether it's good, bad, mediocre, whatever. But the danger is if it says it's good, then it's not. And then you can put in what they call a challenge and say, hey, wait a minute. The government's idea is they're gonna have this map. This is happening all over the country. And then they're gonna put it out, and then you have 30 days or so to say, hey, that's wrong. And once it's done, it's done. That's what they're gonna go by. I hope it's mostly accurate. But, so I'd encourage everybody to, anybody who has fine coverage, I wouldn't worry about it. If you have spotty coverage, it would be good to go look on there and see what they say. Now, if it's, in your case, if it's a brand new house, they may not say anything. I don't know how that works, but it's a complicated issue. The answer is it's a complicated issue and it's a big struggle. And the federal government is claiming, I think by the year 2030, that literally everybody in the whole U.S. will be covered. I guess you could say I'm a skeptic.
Yeah, what's the website, John?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what that would be off the top of my head, actually. I guess I do Google search on it, and if you give me your email info, I can, or contact info, I can get back to you with that. Yeah. In the back there.
John, you're the fun guy. Why are you in control of the water services here?
Why we're in
Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't be fun if we didn't have water. If you go on our website, look at the declaration. Your declaration was the original founding document. Now, that founding document actually one document created all the policy, or all of the structure for the POA, the ACC, and if you live in one of the townhouse associations, it created that also. It's actually the basis for that. And if you read through that document, you'll see that we were originally founded as an amenity-based community, and also it assigned the water department to the POA. So in my opinion, we're doing an outstanding job. We run very efficiently. I don't think any city can do any better than us. That's my opinion. So we're in charge of the water, and to change that legally would be near impossible. Okay.
Sorry, different question. Is Branchwood gonna get a bigger parking lot?
Yeah, we're working on that. I'm trying to secure some additional land because we need more. So we are putting in some temporary parking areas. So we actually expanded that parking lot in 2017, 18, and we gotta do it again. So that's a good problem to have, is that we have a lot of people using those amenities. So we're aware of the problem and we're working on it.
Thank you.
We're in the Highlands area, obviously, but how do you propose an enhancement to services? This may be for the mayor, but a sidewalk between the Highlands Golf Course and Branchwood, I think would be used a lot and very beneficial for the community.
We've
How do
actually
you propose something like that?
Well, actually, so it has been proposed. It's actually in one of the long-range plans that was put together by the Walt Family Foundation. We've been trying to get them to do that. So and that long-range plan is, I think it's still available on the city's website. I think so. But that's a long run and it's a lot of money. And I think that's going to be the main answer I'm going to give you right now is it's a long run, it's a lot of money. The good news is that they are focusing a lot of attention on, extending the Greenway next to Highlands, which is going to be outstanding. Also on the east side, they're going to take the Greenway and go north of Trafalgar. So it's going to currently stop at Meetingfield, it's going to go north. So they're doing a lot of stuff. And we have 100 miles of soft surface trail, so not exactly the answer you wanted, but.
Okay.
It looks like you can request an activity card online, but where do you go to get a picture taken for the card?
You just, your cell phone,
Oh,
just, is that right?
yes.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, thank you.
And if you have any questions, those two can help you.
Tom, will you explain about the cost to go to yoga classes and the Zumba classes, et cetera?
So, getting into the BVRC, to go into the fitness area is no charge, but if you're gonna take an additional class, like the spin class I referenced that my wife takes, or a yoga, or something like that, there's gonna be an additional charge for that, and basically that's to pay for the instructor.
We're up on Mike's, was that the restaurant? What's going in there and when is it gonna open?
So, we had a tour on Tuesday of Kingsdale and all the renovations. The restaurant that's gonna go in there is gonna be called BB65. It's gonna be run by the POA. It'll be open this summer. It'll be a barbecue place.
It'll be what?
A barbecue place. All right, Deb, I'm turning it back over to you.
Okay. Selena came up with the information for you. If you go to the fcc.gov and you search for broadband, you will be able to find the information that you need, okay? Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you about a dime tour of the history of Bella Vista. We are an unusual city. Bella Vista started in 1915. There was a family called the Baker family who came up from Bentonville, and they had the privilege to be able to dam Little Sugar Creek and make Lake Bella Vista. And they decided after 2 years, they were gonna have just a summer resort. They decided after 2 years, it was too much work. So they sold to 3 gentlemen, 3 brothers called the Linebarger Brothers. And the Linebarger Brothers came up from Texas, and their goal is to take Bella Vista, keep it at a 3-month resort, but add lots of amenities. So one of the first things, they had a 9-hole golf course, which was multi-purpose because it was also a landing strip for the airplanes. They opened the Sunset Hotel, which was a wonderful hotel up on the west side of 71. And the unusual was the fact that it had private bathrooms in all the rooms. They also opened Wonderland Cave. Some of you may have heard about the Wonderland Cave. The Wonderland Cave was a natural cave that was open for big band music. It wasn't Tommy Dorsey coming here, but it was big band music. And they had a lot of meetings and that type of thing. After the Linebargers owned Bella Vista and expanded all the, they had a dance pavilion right by the lake. In 1852, they sold to a gentleman named E.L. Keith. And E.L. Keith kept Bella Vista until 1964. And in 1864, a gentleman named John Cooper Sr. and the Cooper Corporation came in and said, we love the 3-month resort, but we want to open it up to a 12-month resort. And we'd like to have a lot of retirees with lots of amenities. So as of 1964, 65, the John Cooper Corporation came into Bella Vista, and the imagination, if you think about 36,000 acres of trees, and they built the 7 lakes, they built the 7 golf courses. This was the first one. He hired E. Jones to come in and design this building, along with the Cooper Chapel, which I'm sure many of you have seen. And E. Jones, the School of Architecture, is named after him down at the university in Fayetteville. As the expansion developed with Bella Vista, the amenities were added on, so we have the different, the golf courses, we have the lakes, but we also have the walking trails and what have you. And then in 2006, the residents here in Bella Vista said, oh, let's become a city. So January 1st on 2007, we became a city, and that's where we had our first mayor. And like I said, John is our 3rd mayor. And we are now, I've been here 19 years, and we were 90% retirees, and now we're at about 31%. So the young families have moved up and in, and we welcome all of you for all ages. And we have a lot of information here about groups if you want to volunteer. get on the website, definitely get on the POA website. It really helps. There's an e-newsletter, so it's a golf newsletter, it's activity newsletter, but it's very informative. And I get on Facebook and people say, well, I didn't know about this and I didn't know about that. But if you really get on and look at the websites, it's very, very informative. Now, we're going to have a drawing. Selena, why don't you handle this? We have 5 history books that we're going to be handing out. And Cindy is going to help hand out the books today. I'm going to draw 5 tickets, and then after the drawing, we'll also, if anybody wants to stick around for lunch, we've got 2 or 3 of us that are going to stick around and would like to have you join us for lunch if you want to have any questions and what have you. Tom will be here. Are you going to stick around a little bit afterwards? Okay, and Selena. So if there's any questions and what have you, we definitely want. Yes, ma'am.
I do have a question, because you just brought it up with the comparison of retirees and younger people. Are there any plans to create more buildings, commercial buildings within Bella Vista?
Let me turn that over to the fun man here. Go ahead.
I wouldn't say there's exact plans. There have been, some people may have heard, it was in the news that some Walton-related entities that bought some property in Bella Vista, and most people know they've been buying property around the city for a while. So I do believe there's going to be, in the future, more commercial development. You know, my attitude is, I think the challenge is that it's good to have some commercial and increase your tax base, but to preserve the lakes and trees and the nice atmosphere also is a challenge. And in a growing area, it's just naturally a challenge. All of Northwest Arkansas is growing. You know, they say we're getting 35 new people a day in Northwest Arkansas. And I saw a breakdown of that statistic, and one part of that is that there's 6 more births than deaths a day. It's not all, but it's 29 people coming in and 6 is just a birth rate. So it certainly is a growing area, and you know, people have been here a while, seen a lot of changes in Bentonville and Rogers and whatnot. So yeah, I think we'll have more commercial development than we have right now.
Okay. Does that answer your question? Sort of. Anyway, also I want to remind everybody, we have a great museum here. It is on 1885 Bella Vista Way. We have representatives here today, but if you really want to learn about the history of Bella Vista, and we aren't just a regular city that grew up, we are a village that grew up into a city. We have a tremendous amount of history, and it's really fun. We're open Wednesday to Sunday from 1 to 5. Okay, now I'm going to draw some tickets. I have 5 tickets. The first ticket is 384231. 231, there we go. We have 384239. 239, right here. Okay, good. Should have put The last 3 numbers are 223. Okay. 223, there we go. The last 3 numbers are 241. 241, good. And the last ticket is number 200. The last 3 numbers are 200. Got it? Great. Anyway, we'll all stick around a while, answer any questions for you. We thank you all so much, and we want you to know how welcome you all are. We have lots of information on the ticket or on the table up here. And if you need to have reference to this meeting, it will be on the Bella Vista Community TV website for newcomers meetings, so pass it along and send it to your friends. Thank you so much.